I have a spear for thrusting, but I wanted a throwing spear, and I got this Sheffield Reaper for about $60 on eBay.
eBay's got some great deals. Now, is that a full tang spear?
I do believe, yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I tell you one thing with spears,
This is a throwing spear. You can tell.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah,
that it's game over. If whatever that hits, it's game over. Those things have such a. I've started throwing I bought the Cold Steel Bushman series, the Bowie and the regular Bushman, and I attached it to a stick and with a screw because it's got a screw hole, and man, the penetration is so unbelievable with those things. They're so sharp. Yeah, you notice too once you get out and work with a lot of these things. A lot of people think, man, he knows how to do a lot of stuff, and really, in all honesty, it all starts to flow together after a while. You just start to get it. It's weird how it all comes together. It's if you get good at a few things like slingshots, knife throwing, archery, everything just begins. Your mind just begins to calculate, what to do. So that's what's so cool about all of it, and shooting as well. Shooting a pistol.
For example, I'm better with this than a regular bow, and I'll show these. This is a Cold Steel cheap shot, 130 pounds.
I like that a lot.
Before inflation happened in America, this cost me $300.
Oh, that's cool.
It's got adjustable stock, even a sling, but it's in the other room. And a red dot sight.
You said that's a Cold Steel model?
Yeah, they don't make this anymore, but they do make something similar to it, the Adder and the Cobra Adder.
Okay.
By EK Archery. Now the Cobra Adder is a version of this. It's black, right?
Yep.
It has basically it basically has like a 5-bolt magazine on it.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
That's something you love to review.
Crossbows. I have not gotten into them yet, and it's an inevitable thing.
The market is getting pretty good. You have high-powered crossbows. They're like 500 pounds. They can. Have you ever watched Kentucky Ballistics?
I have not.
Okay, there was one episode, How Lethal is a Crossbow. He had this like ballistic dummy, right? And and he tested one of those more powerful crossbows. One had an eternal crank. It was like a compound crossbow. I think it was 400 pounds. And the first bolt went into the ballistic dummy and out the other end.
Oh yeah, right out yes. I would imagine.
Now this one won't do that, but it's only 130 pounds, but it's still lethal.
I'd be happy for that thing just to go in and stick. Yeah, just to go in and of course it'd be nice to be able to recollect the arrow, but it's hard to do that if it flies through them like that. But
well, that was basically the smaller field tip, field tip. The regular ones, not the hunting ones. Yeah, that was just the first regular tip, pointy tip, and not the arrowheads that were on it. This is one of the most reliable crossbows I've ever bought. It cost $300 before inflation on Amazon.
Definitely want to get a crossbow. That's kind of on the horizon for sure.
There's a lot of models. For example, you got repeating crossbows now, the smaller ones. Besides the Cobra Adder, you have like the Vlad, the Steamboat Stinger AR6. These are small, like pistol. What do you call pistol crossbows? With stocks and stuff like that. And you can get them 80 or 90 pounds if you wanted to. And you can basically, it has it just has a bolt, has a magazine full of bolts. These smaller bolts.
That's probably what I'll start out with, because it's a lot of the times on my channel I'm reviewing, budget stuff anyway to see how good it is. So
they're made for self-defense. I would recommend the Vlad then.
Yeah.
In Europe they can't have firearms, as you know, so they rely on crossbows more often because air guns are heavily regulated.
Yeah. It blows my mind how much I have been able to find out, on the YouTube channel around the world, as far as, the type of weapons that people can't have. Definitely feel really blessed here in America.
Yeah.
Able to pretty much have
Me
about
too.
anything. It's crazy to think, but it does give me a lot to talk to people about, because it's, if it wasn't for all of that, some of the videos that I create would probably not be interesting to Americans per se as much as it would be to someone in the UK. Like I released a video one time called "Can Slingshots Be Used in Self-Defense?" And I really need to redo the video, because I had just started doing YouTube at the time. I talked about a lot of unrelevant things that I've learned ever since. I don't need to. And people around the world jumped all over that thread. They're like, absolutely, it can. It's all we've got, So,
yeah. Well, I want to show you something. I'm going to show you the bolts to my crossbow. These are specialty bolts. You can buy them for about $30 pack on eBay or Amazon. I bought extra ones recently. You know, man.
Yeah.
It comes with bolts, but you can buy extra. Take this field point, this regular field point off. This is for your practice head. You know what I mean? But if you want to do it for hunting, right? You just simply put this bad boy. I prefer the solid steel heads over the those razor heads, because you can't reuse the razor heads. They break, they snap, or they bend, and you can't basically reuse them.
Yeah,
you can only use them once. These are solid steel heads. See?
Oh yeah,
3-edged.
Yeah, and plenty deadly.
Yep. And I got, like, on Amazon, I got these in a pack, right? Well, I got 2 packs of these. I think 6 in a pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's and how quick can something like that be reloaded?
I think about all you need to do is basically, once you got it cocked, since I got this, it's for this one, it's not that far for regular crossbow. All I need is like cock it down. Once I got it down, right, this particular kind of safety mechanism you're not going to be used to.
Gotcha.
You got to switch it, and so read the instructions carefully if you get one like this.
Gotcha. Okay.
Switch your safety once you're done. Once you cocked it back. So basically, you just slip it through here, and it locks in here, and that's it.
There's this little crossbow on Amazon. It's the cheapest. I've thought about doing a YouTube video on the cheapest crossbow on Amazon, and it's like a little handheld crossbow, and I'm really curious to see what I can do with that. And I think it would just draw some interest, just because, you've got folks all around the world that don't have much money to spend on things, and they want to know if it's good or if it's worth their time. And that's what's fun about making videos like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And you end up getting some cool gear in stock, when you end up getting some things you really like. I sell a lot of the stuff that I review that on my channel. I will sell a lot of it.
For self-defense, I'll say this. That was for hunting, but this one is straight up for self-defense. I'm going to show it right now. There we go.
Yeah.
Boom. I call these, they didn't call these bodkins, but they look exactly like bodkins, like the medieval style bodkins. And they look like armor penetrators to me.
Yeah.
Solid steel, just like before. Just put them in there. And
yeah, that's very nice. That's a scary piece of equipment.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, well, it would be interesting to review that crossbow.
Yeah, most definitely plan on checking one of those things out. And Vlad, I'll have to check that. I'll have to look at that one as well. Yeah. That's definitely something next on the horizon for me. Having these types of weapons, I think a lot of, when you get into the minds of guys like us who like all of this kind of stuff, I think there's a part of us that just feels that this stuff could be useful in our lifetime. And I think it gives us there's a lot of it just comes down to mere enjoyment, but a lot of it does come down to the fact I think that a lot of people in the back of their mind think about a collapsed society and the possibility of having to live through something like that. And I think that a couple of years ago, in 2020, I was telling my buddy at Safe Prep this. We've been trying to do an interview like this forever, but I couldn't get a good enough signal. But I was talking to him, and he was really asking, a lot of good questions as far as like my motive behind things that I do. And I had a massive shift in my worldview back in 2020. I don't know if I've even shared this with you. You may have picked up on my internet channels, but what I do for a living is I am a student pastor. I'm a youth pastor. That's what I do for a living. I'm actually in youth ministry. That's kind of like what I do by day, so to speak, and then 411 Outdoors is kind of like my side passion. But I got really wrapped up in ministry for a long time, and got away, just got away from these kinds of things. I allowed myself to, but I will tell you that 2020 was an awakening. The year 2020 was an awakening for me to plug back into a higher level of training and to not be so what's the word I'm looking for? Not be so apathetic with regard to weapons and training and just being in good shape. And 2020 was one of those years that we saw. We were reminded how quick that societies and cities and neighborhoods can fall apart.
Totally true. Totally agree.
We were reminded of that. And I don't know how you felt, but I felt a huge sense of anger. I won't get into the reasons behind why people do what they do or why they were doing what they were doing. But the bottom line was it was sheer lawlessness that was going on.
I will say this. I've always knew that this society was screwed from an early age. I'm not going to go deep into my backstory, but I've experienced how screwed up this society, in particular here in the West, is at an early age. How screwed up it is. I mean, it's just bad. I mean,
the moral compass is gone.
The things they do now, it's just crazy. I mean, I remember at an early age. Now I've turned to Christianity. I've all fall short of the glory of God, but I'm a Christian. So you're dealing with fellow believer.
That's why we are Christians, bro, because we do fall short.
Yeah, every day. But the point is that I've experienced a lot of bad things in an early age, and I realize how bad things can go south, in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Or one day everything is shiny and the storm is coming in.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so our world can become. I mean, people can become victims really quick if they if they don't train, if they're not prepared and vigilant, because societies and cities and neighborhoods can fall apart. And I just made my mind up that if the fight ever comes to me the way that it has come to so many others, that I just want to be a prepared person. I want to be just a well-rounded person. It motivates me. I'm also too, I will tell you this too, Justin, outside of the whole, 411 Outdoors and primal weapons and everything, I'm also a big time, USCCA guy. I'm a huge 2A guy. I carry everywhere that I go. And I usually, will carry a blade and my pistol with me everywhere I go. So I kind of train that way as well, because the ability to defend against a public shooter is something I think about, every time I walk out the front door. And for years when I didn't carry, I would be sitting in a restaurant or in a movie theater, in a grocery store, and I always had this uneasy feeling of what would I do to protect my family if somebody comes in here blazing. And it just feels so much better to carry every day and to train and to be trained and to be sharp. I'm
Right.
just motivated on all ends, bro. Not in an arrogant sense, but motivated to be a weapon, to be one of the good guys. And I'm a USCCA member, and just I'm always training. I'm actually working on my qualifications right now to be an instructor. So I've got a lot of irons in the fire.
Well, I would say that, although I would say this is that it's good that you have firearms. As for me, I keep around less than lethal alternatives. This is actually HTP
Yep.
50. These shoots, I put some 50 calibers. You can shoot a variety of different balls in this. This is shooting 50 caliber, like nylon PVC coated steel balls.
Yeah.
I've tested them and they make a nasty hole. And I just recently got these, by the way, these new rounds.
That's cool. You that website that website that you had recommended to me to check out had some really, really, really cool options on there. One of the things, and it's really a tough call because there are times when less than lethal is needed. I can just tell you, being transparent, if a shooter comes into a grocery store and he's whacking people,
yeah, that's a different story. It's a different scenario.
I hate to say this, Justin, he needs to die. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Yeah.
Now, I've always said this, that
Yeah.
less than lethal isn't for every scenario.
Right. There is a place for it. Absolutely.
I have said that. But at the same time, there are times in less than lethal, particularly if you live in a blue state like I do, and you don't know who the prosecutor is, right? And let's say someone busts in your house, bro, or breaks in your house or something like that, and and you wound up killing this person. Let's say this person is of a group that the socialist prosecutor supports. Then it becomes
I know exactly where you're right.
It's not like your state where you can just basically, we have castle doctrines, but you don't know who the prosecutor is going to be. And we've seen this throughout time, like Kyle Rittenhouse and stuff like that.
Yep.
So,
yep.
And I learned a lot. You know what I mean? I also learned that, I think the importance of alarms and cameras and dogs are important for your house. But yeah, the importance of less than lethals cannot be like pepper balls and stuff like that, and kinetic rounds, and you can get like less than lethal slugs, by the way.
Absolutely.
I'll show you some other pistols that I got, and I'll show you some of the more rifles. See, these T3 series, you can jack them up. You can jack up the jewels on them. HDR 50.
That's cool.
You can change magazines. It's one of the first ones I got. Oh, it has a latching system right here. See?
Oh yeah.
Take it out. Take this out, and there you are. Just similar to the HDR 68. I got the holsters are become as extra. You got to pay a little extra for them, but it's only about like $8 for the holsters. So that's not bad.
Absolutely.
They're sold separately. Let's just say that.
And honestly, too, the good thing is, when you think about it, the good thing is you and I and all of us will more than likely go through our entire life and never have to use any of it. More than likely.
More than likely, but you never know.
But you never know. That's why I say training. If you spend your whole life training and preparing, you didn't waste your time, because there's a lot to be enjoyed getting to know, how all of this stuff works, and the journey of going through the whole process. I think a lot of people don't train because sorry, my nose is itching. I think it might be allergies or something, but if you see me scratching my nose,
I just think it's basically about being a man. No, man.
It is very much so about being a man, a prepared vessel, man, a prepared individual. I've always said that, you don't have the task of being the most dangerous person in the room, but you do want to be one of the most prepared. It's
Yeah.
hard to it's hard to be the most dangerous person in any given place, but you can be one of the most prepared, and that's the mindset.
Well, exactly.
And
Now you've seen the HDR 50. This is the HDR 68.
yeah, oh
So
yeah, there's no
now,
doubt that can bring the pain.
now, for those who don't know, 50 and 60. Well, that's 50 caliber and 68 caliber. These are
Yeah.
not like like pellet guns. You know what I mean?
Right.
They do not shoot pellets. They shoot larger ammunition.
That obviously could take out small game, I imagine, rabbits and squirrels.
Possibly. And these are pepper balls.
Yeah.
And that's basically a kinetic ball. It's mostly like a Kevlar riot ball. It's a solid Kevlar, like smooth, almost like plasticky. It's made of Kevlar.
Put out the video on pepper spray a couple of weeks back, and a lot of people were saying, that I should get, pepper gel. And I'm probably going to try some out, just to test it, see. But pepper spray. I sprayed the can that I had, and it projects about 12 feet of nastiness. And I got a little bit when I was testing it. I got a little bit on my fingertip. And then I came inside and I want to say like I rubbed my nose or something. What is that right there?
This is basically an HDS 68 HDS home defense shotgun, 68 caliber. Well, I think this was the first one I bought. This is the first model I bought. The first less than lethal I bought.
That shoots pepper balls as well.
It can shoot pepper balls. It can shoot paintballs. It can shoot like riot balls. It's 2 shots. You can basically like this. You have 2 shots. It works on a system like this. It's basically you put your CO2 cartridge in here, and you screw it in, right? And you put it on the other end. You like flip it, not like a regular like BB gun. Okay, you flip it, right? Now this is basically your you have to slap this plunger. You have to slap this and then the pin goes up. That's how these things work. That means you have no wasted CO2. When it's ready, you just slap it. Got to get a hard slap underneath the handle, or basically, you basically put it like this. For whatever, which barrel you want to use. You know what I mean? It's got like a little switch. Spring with a switch.
Is that what they use in the riot? Like CO2 power?
Yeah, CO2. CO2 is cheap. Okay. You can buy them at Walmart. This one's the HDS 68. No, this is the HDX. Yeah, HDX 68. Home Defense Extreme from the T-Fury series. Similar saying, except it takes 2 CO2 cartridges. You got to open this up. It's for example, I'll show this. Yeah, that's how you open it. You got to open it up. It has a tool inside of it. Now it has a similar slapping mechanism here. You know what I mean? It takes 2 CO2 cartridges. It's a pump action. It's a 68 caliber. I'm hoping to get there's one I don't have yet in my collection. I want to add is the HGB, which is the semi-automatic. It's basically similar to this, except it's kind of like the HDS. It's like a semi-automatic shotgun. It's got like a pistol grip at the end. It's shorter, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it's but this one's pump action.
That's awesome, man. You got a nice collection of that stuff.
Thank you. These are very good. I just recently got in there because of Rune Rebel, and there's a lot of other people. For example, before a couple last week, I interviewed a guy called Airgun Alley Miami. He's a really cool guy. He just got into these self-defense and weapons. He's a newcomer, but he's gotten into the less than lethal world, the air gun world. They're the pre-charged pneumatic air rifles. They are just as powerful these days as a firearm. You can buy a pre-charged pneumatic, right? You got to pump it. You know what I mean? It's got like a gauge. But you can get them in big bore. Even pellets can shoot very lethal ammunition, like the Hornets. HM and Hornets and stuff like that.
That's really it's interesting. You know, as time progresses, you know, we come up with more and more things.
Yes, we do. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I would suggest getting these, and actually, because a lot of people, even in Europe, even with the regulation, get these.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to thinking I'm probably going to end up